Hello, hello. I don't know if I'm on. Hi, Facebook. There we go. All right, I'm going to start. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I've been thinking about this all day, and then I was just prepping my green juice stuff, and I started thinking about it again and how important it is, and how this topic really changed my life. And it changed everything for me in my business and my life. And what I want to talk about is how adding green juice back in actually pushed me forward in my business, moved me forward in my business. And here's what I mean. So when I left the fashion industry and I was fried to a crisp and I was ready to embark on my path in this online world, I first took the nutrition route, and I was creating a nutrition website, and that's what that's what my expertise was. That's what the business I was going to build. So as I did that, I spent a lot of money, a large chunk of my website. So after doing that, I realized that was not at all what I wanted to do. It wasn't really what was aligned with who I am. It wasn't in my heart. And even though the other path was much more scary and unknown, I decided to go with that. And when I did that, I spent another big chunk of money trying to get my business and website off the ground, as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. So as I'm doing this, my savings is dwindling, and my business wasn't booming yet. I didn't have stable revenue, and my savings account was just like slowly going down. And as that started to happen, something happened to me, and I started getting scared, and I started paying attention to money going out instead of what I already had and the value of the stuff that I was providing and money coming in. And I started to go into scarcity mode. And the first things that I started to take away from myself were things like my green juicing habit, things like pedicures, things like, shopping for nice makeup instead of, what's in the drugstore. And little by little, I was pulling away these little luxuries. I looked at them as luxuries. So I was definitely used to having them, but they weren't meeting my survival needs. I was focused on, I got to make sure I can make this money last. So as I did this, I started contracting. Literally, physically, I was contracting my reality by pulling away those things that gave me joy, those things that made me feel good, those things that energized me. And it wasn't until I realized that I started coming to a standstill. I, first of all, had health issues that were depleting my energy. And then I realized that I was deprived on all levels of my life, in all areas of my life. And my physical body was just reflecting, because I was very deprived in nutrients, and I had chronic cellular dehydration and all kinds of things. And I realized that was a reflection of how I felt deprived in every area of my life, and in myself, most of all, by not expressing myself, by not really being who I came here to be in the world. And when this started to click, I started to realize that the key to all of this was not being more strict with my money, not trying to find the perfect productivity system and be more strict with my time. It wasn't about managing anything on the external world. The trick was about managing me, managing my energy, what brought me to life and what took the life out of me. And I had built myself into this little box of, I don't even know, like a little world that was just sucking the life out of me, what little life I had left after leaving my job in the fashion industry. So once I started realizing this, I started adding things back in. And as I did that, I came to life again. And you may have heard me refer to re-crisping parsley. It's kind of like when you have wilted parsley in the refrigerator and then you run it under water again. I don't know if you know this trick, but if you do this with certain herbs and greens, they will come back to life, and you just wrap them up and keep them in the crisper all wet. They'll come back to life. They'll be all crispy again. And that is how I started to feel. Laura, I'm thinking of you if you're watching this. So as I came back to life, I realized the answer was never outside of me. The answer was always about me prioritizing me prioritizing myself puts out the vibe that I am valuable to the universe, as I am. So by doing that, I started adding in the things that I considered luxuries, and my life began to shift around on the outside to suit it. So as soon as I started to add these things back in and my energy started to come back and my power started to come back, things started to move in my business. New clients were coming, aligned clients were coming. I was selling things without having to try, and people were just coming to me, opportunities started coming to me, and I started getting in motion again. And it was the best feeling ever because now I felt aligned. So I'm going to tell you about my green juice if you want to know, but I created a program called Easy Money. You may or may not have heard me talk about it. It's spelled EASE-Y on purpose, money. And I want to explain to you, hey Jen, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I want to explain to you what I mean by this program. So I use the term ease because ease isn't always easy. We find ease when we are aligned and allowing ourselves to be expressed as we are meant to be expressed in this world. When we are being ourselves, on the inside and on the outside, that is where you find ease. And I learned this the hard way by doing a job that wasn't really aligned with who I was, and then almost creating a business. I actually did create the business. I didn't move forward with it a lot, but I created the business that also wasn't really aligned, and it felt hard. It was hard work. It was very draining on my energy, and all I wanted was ease and freedom and flow. And it wasn't until I made these shifts and made sure I was prioritizing myself, and by myself I mean what I was believing about myself, what my expression to the world, my work that I wanted to share, my opinions, my beliefs. It wasn't until I prioritized that plus my physical well-being and got really clear on what I wanted to say and what I wanted to do, even though it was scary and unknown, that things started moving for me in the right direction. And so that is where the term easy comes from. So it's not like quick, fast money, because stepping into who you really are can be hard. You have to face things about yourself. You need to own the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's really about deep self-awareness and self-acceptance on top of that to help you self-actualize and be able to be who you are in the world. The second piece of this is money, and this is about being paid for who you are. So what I do in my business is me. What I'm showing you right now, my green juice, this is me. The things that I want to say come through me. They're messages that I want to share with the world. And it feels easy because I allow it. I am in a state of allowance. I'm not resisting myself. And I let it be easy. Whereas a lot of times in our work, especially women nowadays, and humans in general, in our society, we value hard work. We value productivity, and you are capped. When you place your self-worth on how much you can do, you are capped. So my success was attached to my self-worth. So I eventually burnt out because I thought, okay, I can have more and then I'll feel free. But eventually my physical body just couldn't take it, and I burnt out. So what I needed to do was realign my value, realign my worth. And I've spoken about this in other videos. You might have heard me talk about it. But when money is not about abundance, money is about value. In our society, it represents value. When you are valuing yourself, when you believe in your own worth, you are aligning with more value, money or whatever that is for you. And that is why you might see a lot of abundant thinkers who are still poor, or a lot of rich billionaires who are still living in scarcity and fear, because it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your value and your worth. And in the fashion industry, I was very successful financially, but it was because I had the belief that if I do this, if I am the best, if I am, my work is perfect and the best, and I'll be indispensable and I'll climb the ladder fast, if I do all of that, then I am valuable. And that's exactly what I got. I did all of that. I got all of the money, and that is how I got my value, my money, but I was still miserable because it wasn't coming from the inside. It was all external. So that is the money piece of this program. So in this program, it's all about reshifting the way that you're working in your business and really living in your life, because your entire life is reflecting back to you what you feel and believe about yourself. So what we do is go through all of those categories. It's a big detox, so to speak. You're going to detox your belief system. You're going to detox the emotional imprints that keep you creating those patterns that keep you self-sabotaging, that keep you making it hard for yourself, so you can let it be easy. So you let yourself step into who you really are and let yourself put that out into the world. And then it's all about designing and realigning. So it's about, you are going to get to know yourself on a whole other level, all sides of you, all aspects of you. And it's about owning all of it, the good and the bad, accepting that, but also, or the bad and the ugly, accepting that, but also the good, the parts of you that you don't let out into the world because you don't want to seem arrogant or you don't want to seem selfish, and you dim your light and you don't let yourself shine and be everything that you can be. So we're going to rearrange and shift all of that. So everything that you're creating in your business and in your life is coming from the inside out. When you do this, when you prioritize yourself, when you prioritize your expression, which I believe is the deepest, greatest form of self-care, and when you prioritize taking care of yourself and your energy first, you scream to the universe, I am valuable. You scream that you are worthy of all of those things that you want. So thanks for the likes, guys. Hi, Jen. I have 2 Jens. Awesome. So if you're interested in learning more about this, you can check it out at Easy Money. I'll put the link above and below, but it's Easy Money, it's SusanF.com/Easy Money. And that is EASE-Y-money. You can see the program details there. And I also have a free class that goes more into depth about all of this. And that is at SusanF.com/freedom and flow. So you can sign up there. There's an exercise that will open your eyes and show you how you're creating, how each area of your life is reflecting back to you. And it's going to go deeper into what I was talking about today. And that's SusanF.com/freedom and flow. That is free. You just sign up and you'll get that right away. What else did I want to say? Oh, I also added some bonuses. So if you've watched the class or you're new to the class doesn't tell you about these bonuses that I added, but I basically just forgot to put them in, but they're now on the sales page. So you can see them at SusanF.com/Easy Money. I'll put the link. It's EASE-Y-money. And you get 3 bonuses. So the way that I've designed this program, it's kind of like, I want you to think transformationally. So I want you to think about how a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. I know that's kind of a cliche example, but here's what I mean. It's broken down into 3 phases. And in the first phase, it's kind of like you're in a cocoon. You're going inward. This is where you do the inner work. And this is all about, fessing up to things that you've been holding on to, that you've been hiding, maybe even from yourself. This is really going to go deep into your subconscious, old memories. It's about healing all of those old emotional hurts that keep you repeating patterns and keep you from allowing yourself to step out of your comfort zone, allowing yourself to let it be easy. That's that whole first phase. And in that phase, you also get a bonus called body love. And something that I really had trouble with was when I was coming out of the fashion industry, I just started gaining weight. And I had been studying nutrition. I was going into nutrition. And I know so much about nutrition and biochemistry and endocrinology. And I couldn't figure out why my health was, going downhill. And it wasn't until I first learned to accept it instead of being a dictator bully with my body. I learned to accept her as she was. And I realized that she is on my side, that she's on my side, and that she had something to say. And in that moment, I learned that your body is she's always talking to you. She never needs to be fixed. She only needs to be heard. And I started listening to her, and that led me down a whole new path. And I literally forgave my physical body. And there's an exercise in this bonus that will help you do that and help you see her in a new light, and not in the way that we think that she has to be a certain way before we can be ourselves. So that is going to give you a lot of relief. And I'm also going to show you how to tune into her, how to develop basically a relationship with your body, and how to hear her messages and then listen to them. The second phase of the program is kind of like you're coming out of the cocoon, okay? You're coming out of the cocoon, and now you're all of a sudden becoming a butterfly, right? But you've never been a butterfly before. So as you're stepping out of the cocoon, these things in your life, they no longer really align with who this butterfly is. So now you're going to go through the different areas of your life, and you're going to make sure that everything is lining up with who you really are, what you've learned in the cocoon. So now it's like a life detox. You're going to get rid of stuff. Often there's a process called the magic carpet ride that you will use for certain things in phase 1. And what that does is release energetically and emotionally. You will feel the difference, things that have beliefs that you've been holding on to. So that's kind of like detoxing your mind in a way. And then this phase 2, is about detoxing your environment. And this could look like, your clothes. It could look like your home, getting rid of stuff. A lot of times after my clients do the magic carpet, they have this urge to purge everything, and they want to clean and organize and just get rid of things. Sometimes it means relationships. Certain people might go away. You might change your mind about what you're creating. All different things can happen after this. And that's what this phase is about. And it's also about designing and realigning. So this is also where you're going to get clear on what this butterfly needs, who she is. You're going to have a visual of who she is. And this isn't about becoming something you're not. This is not about changing into something you're not. That's where we've gotten tripped up as humans. This is about allowing yourself to be who you already are. And we need to get to know ourselves. I needed to get to know myself. I was like, who the fuck am I? After living in this way with all these masks and trying to be all of these things for so long, I forgot who I was. So it's about getting back in touch with those aspects of you that you repressed. Your superstar self, who you're not letting out in the world. And that's what you do in this phase. And there's more to it too. It's not just that. But it's all about getting clear on what's next. The third, and the bonus for this phase is called Get Your Groove Back. So this is where you're learning to prioritize by energy. So it's no longer about money and time. It's no longer about the people in your life. This is about your energy. And there are 2 ways to go. Either it drains you or it does not. And I'm going to show you how to do this. I have a tracker that works with this so you can actually see when your energy is being filled up, when you're feeling empowered. This is your power. And when it's being drained out of you. And you're going to prioritize your life and your work in that way. It's a whole new way of being in the world. And it feels really good. And it doesn't have to take long to see results. And you're getting a bonus that's going to help you with this too, called Get Your Groove Back. Because our women, I'm talking to women, it's true for men too, but it's different for women. Our sexuality and our sensuality is our power. Okay, so it is your life force. So when you are feeling sexy, and I know you know this, when you feel sexy, how in charge do you feel? How confident do you feel? You feel like, I know I'm hot, and you can go into any room, you can own the room, you can get more done, your energy is skyrocketed, you are charged. It's a whole different feeling. So now imagine when you are cultivating this charge in your life on a daily basis, you are now able to push through some of the things that felt hard to push through before. So as you let go of shame, as you let go of guilt, as you let go of blame and the things that pulled down your energy on the inside, and you start adding in these things that give you energy from the inside and the outside, you're now able to move through resistance and the things that keep you from stepping out and being who you are. So Get Your Groove Back is all about how to tune into your sexuality. A lot of us lose it when we're in this phase and transforming and transitioning and feel depleted. So it's all about getting that groove back. It's all about tuning into your senses and cultivating a sensual life, really, living via our senses. That is very natural to women, and we've lost that along the way, a lot of us. So we're bringing it back. So phase 3 is all about letting it be easy. This is all about letting it happen, okay? And notice I'm not saying making it happen. Making it happen comes from will. This is about allowing. Again, feminine energy is about allowing, it's about surrender. It's about receiving. We use all of that energy that we've just cultivated to receive. And I don't just mean money, but yes, money is part of it, but it's about receiving our messages. So all of my work that I create comes through me. And I didn't always work this way. If we're in our mind, things feel hard. If we're trying to figure out how to get to the things that we want, how to get the desires that we want, that's hard. It hurts your brain. It's tiring. This is about learning a new way of stepping out into the world and being the butterfly. You're going to be her, but you're going to do it in a way where you're fueled. So the bonus in this phase is actually called Team Other Side. And you may or may not know this, but I'm a psychic medium. You do not have to be a psychic medium to use this bonus. I actually realized I was one from doing this work. It tuned me in. You can receive messages from your higher self. You can call it whatever you want. The same way that you receive ideas, the same way that things pop into your head. I'm going to teach you how to trigger that. I'm going to teach you how to intentionally allow that. That's the first piece. So it's all about downloading and, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, downloading your creativity and your ideas, the ones that are truly aligned to you, the ones that feel good to create. And it's all about allowing the universe, your guides, God, whatever you want to call it, to handle the hows. As you give up the hows, when you try to figure out the hows, you're decreasing your energy. You become detached to the outcome. You become desperate. It does not feel good. When you say, this is what I want, let me know what my next step is, you can start moving. Now, the path is not known, and that's the difference. When I was in fashion, I chose fashion over what my real dream of being a star, whatever that meant was, a singer, a dancer, or whatever. I gave up on that dream because I couldn't see the path in front of me. I could see the path in front of me with fashion, and that's why I chose it, because I thought it would be easy. But guess what? It was so fucking hard. It was harder than anything I've ever done, anything I've ever been through on every single level, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And on paper, it looked great, but it was hard. And it appeared to be easy because I could see how it would work. I could see the steps. Did the same thing when I started my business and I started to choose nutrition. I was like, oh, no problem. I totally sell that. But it wasn't aligned. It didn't feel good. It wasn't me. It was just a transfer of information. And again, it felt hard. So this is about allowing it to feel easy and getting out of your own way, getting out of your head, learning how to face your fear, not even face your fear, but embrace your fear, because your fear is always the quickest route to what you want, and learning how to move through that resistance. And that's what this whole last phase and bonus is about, taking you there. So that is the program. If you want the free class to help you, or to do the exercise and to learn more about all of this, what I'm talking about and how it works, you can get that at susanf.com/freedomandflow. If you want to check out the program right now and see the bonuses, it's susanf.com, easy money, and that is EASE-Y-money. And I will put that link below or in the comments. As far as green juice goes, that is something that gives me a lot of physical energy because it's so hydrating, it's so oxygenating, and my body craves it. And that was, one thing that I was depriving myself of, because I felt like it was an extra, it was a nice to have, when really, when I have it, I feel so much better. I can do so much more. So I'm not saying everyone needs to juice. This was just one way that I felt like I get my energy. So if you want to know what I put in my juice, I call it the Susan. It's pretty potent, but I'll give you a less potent form too. So here it is. You can see it. Isn't it pretty? So I always use a big leaf, a little leaf, an herb, a lemon, a cucumber, and celery. And it's not sweet. I don't like liquid sugar. My body doesn't respond to it well. Some people can handle an apple or a pear, or even, higher sugar fruit. It doesn't work for me. But you can substitute the lemon with an apple or a pear if you want, if you need it a little sweeter, especially if you're just starting out. But big leaves, I use like romaine is super high in folate and in water. Good for electrolytes. I use Swiss chard. I use kale, big juicy leaves, whichever ones look best to you. I use dandelion greens or spinach usually for the little leaves, usually dandelion greens, but I like to switch it up. Those are super detoxing. And I use parsley almost always as my herb. I'm addicted to parsley. And then I use a cucumber, and these are actually small. I like my cucumbers big. But this was all they had. That was organic, so I chose that. And celery and a lemon. And that is what I like to do. I don't do it every day. I do not, I try not to be a Nazi about it. This comes from feeding myself and nourishing myself and energizing myself, not I have to juice every day or I will gain weight or I won't feel good or whatever. So it's totally flipped. It's not fear-based, it's love-based. And I hope this was informative for you. So tell me if you have a juicing recipe below. I'll put that in the video as well. And I will also give you guys the links. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can post them below too. I'll be in the comments. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Thanks both Jens, my Jen crew. That is all. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.